EU is doing a lot of different things to save the environment and to limit climate change. It's just good and fine that there came up a suggestion to tax jet fuels. It's certainly a good thing to put a tax, an EU-wide tax on jet fuels, because they are polluting quite a lot. But the tax is, in the form in which it is proposed right now, a really bad joke, because it does not include private jets and it does not include cargo planes. These are two big categories which should be included but are not included in the actual proposals which are being pushed forward in EU. That's really a big mistake. Another mistake is that the taxation will start only at 2023 and it will start with zero, so with nothing, and then it will be increased gradually over 10 years to the full level. So the full tax level will be only reached after 10 years in 2033. That's really a very long time, and an introduction of such a tax could have been pushed in a way more aggressive manner than it happened. It's just a bad joke that it's implemented in such a very slow term. Like, of course, there is also a sensible part where they say that, well, green fuels will be exempted from the tax and like sustainable energies will be like supported. That's fine. But another part is that this tax will only include flights inside of EU, so only commercial passenger flights where commercial airlines transport passengers, and only inside of EU, not outside of it. That's also a big mistake. For a plane, it isn't as easy as for a car to just stop in another country and fill up the gas tank. A plane flies usually quite high, and it really adds significant time to the flight if there is a need to land and fill up. The right thing to do would be to include all fuel which is like pumped into gas tanks of jets or any planes inside of European Union. That will be the only right thing, because it's quite difficult to go around it. And if a plane has landed here, it most likely will need some fresh fuel. And it doesn't matter if this plane is going to fly to a destination inside of EU or outside. If any gasoline is filled up in the tank of the plane, then a tax should be paid. And it shouldn't be an exemption for private jets or for cargo planes. As a matter of fact, a tax on private jets should be implemented sooner. For example, from 2022, and from start on in full height. because people who are flying with private jets have the money. They won't be drifting into poverty just because they need to pay taxes for their jet fuel, for their private jets. It won't happen. Private jets are used by very wealthy elites who totally can afford to pay extra for jet fuel. Most of these people who are using private jets are so wealthy that their habits of flying in private jets won't even be affected by a jet fuel tax. And it's clearly a sign of corruption inside of EU that the proposal for jet fuel tax is so badly structured. It's very easy to see that wealthy lobbyists have influenced this proposal. In its core, it is a good idea. An EU-wide jet fuel tax is something that should be here already for a decade. Now it's actually too late. All over EU there are floods, there are droughts, there is a heat wave, there are a lot of forest fires, and in other places the situation is not that much better. Climate change is very real and affects a lot of people, and in my opinion it really is something that gives people like Greta Thunberg or the organization Fridays for Future legitimacy. Like, that's something where you clearly can see that they could do way more with such a little effort, but they are not going to. They are just avoiding such a step because wealthy donors and influential lobbyists are pushing them. P.P.J. is against such bad corruption and thinks that jet fuel tax should come without these loopholes as it is proposed. Thank you for watching.